Today we're going to do something a bit different from my YouTube channel. We're going to do a recording studio tour. Let me tell you about today's special guest. It's none other than Alec Brits. Alec's the whole package. He's a great drummer, brilliant multi-instrumentalist. He plays all sorts of instruments. He's a great singer, recording engineer, mix engineer, masters. He produces records. The guy's just a very talented all-round human being. Alec's also got a great presence here on YouTube, offering recording tips and advice and producing the highest quality gear demos that you've ever seen. And finally, if you get value out of this content, then please consider subscribing. It's a great way to support the channel. And if you want to support the channel further, please consider checking out the super thanks function below.
So this is my Star Classic, obviously currently in space saving mode. It's made out of Babinga. It's got abalone inlay on every shell, which makes me happy. And then it's got the hand-painted Star Classic logos from 2006. I bought it when I was 17 years old. I never went out.
That's why we both have so much gear.
That's it. Didn't pick up a weird habit, except for buying snares and drum kits. The first time I bought a secondary snare was when I was 10 years old. And then it's just
downhill from there.
That's it. So they're all Earthworks mics, of course, for the discrete setup, because I didn't want it to feel like a fully mic'd up kit in the room. The overhead is the AEA-R88, but it's drilled into the wall. So it's coming out over the kit. And then when everything is set up nicely, there's no big mic stands anywhere. And it's this company, Triad Orbit. This is like, these guys make the coolest stuff. So they've got these light clips that we obviously use all the time. And it's got this system where these things just kind of clip in and out. And it's really cool when you can get it in the first time. But all of the mics in the studio now, so here's my old 87, and this is the same system for everything.
That's great.
And if you check down here, this is how I record acoustic guitars with two U67s like this. The same system with the clips. So this is one mic stand, a small mic stand, with the two 67s like that. And it sounds unbelievable, to be honest. There's only one small problem with the Triad Orbits. Can you guess what the problem is?
Is it money by any chance?
It is money. It's not 2x or 3x. It's 10x. Like, it's a 10x price, which is...
Yeah.
But it is like 10 times as well built, I would say. And likely the last version of each of these mic stands you'll need to buy. Like, this is a 1972 Neumann U87. And I have absolutely no concerns about dropping it because there's a gas strut inside of the thing that will stop it from hurting itself. The whole point of this room, obviously with the exception of today, is to make everything in here ready to go at all times. So I've got the Triad Orbit clips here for the piano with the Josephsons. They belong to Cal Williams. They're amazing mics. But that's always plumbed in and ready to go. Acoustic guitar's ready to go. The drum kit's ready to go. Every time I walk in now, everything's plugged in. As soon as I want to, it's all done. And because there's this space in the middle of the room, except when Scott has done a huge guitar vomit in the middle, the camera just sits here and can just twist around.
But this is also a working studio. I think that's what people who watch you on YouTube might not realise, because this looks like a film set on wheels. It is a film set.
Yeah.
But it is a working studio. So you have clients in here.
People don't realise that it's a film studio, but when we're obviously doing stuff, when I'm filming, that's when all the cameras and everything come together. But
all right, well, give us a little. So we've seen the kit.
Yeah.
You've got your lovely piano in here.
Yeah. So this is my Yamaha U3. Then, of course, over here we have a couple more drum machines. I'm going to build a drum machine library this week with my brother, which will go over here. And they'll all sit like books upright. So here's the Behringer 808, which sounds cool. And then the Timbre Wolf, which does not sound cool. But of course, as we know, the most important part of any studio is how many shakers do you have?
Yeah.
So this top shelf is just dedicated to percussion, tambourines and jingly bits in there, shakers and warm percussion in here. And then, of course, drum spares. Then camera bits, XLR stuff, and everything else down here.
So that's if you're going to invest in something for your studio, shakers and tambourines. Doesn't matter how cheap or expensive, just get some because they all sound different.
This I bought on an island in Greece in Rhodes. This one was. There's stuff I've bought on the side of the street in South Africa when I'm back home. All of my little baby shakers are from Brazil. Just whatever you find. I've got like a IKEA hourglass, a glass shaker. So when every shop you're in, if there's something that's got any kind of sound to it, just shake it and listen to it, because you never know. So today we're obviously talking about these guys, which is the WA2MPX. This is the most expensive preamp stand in the world, I would probably say. They're currently perched on a Mark I Fender Rhodes 88 suitcase piano.
Yeah.
Some more of my favorite instruments. So we have a guitar made out of an oil can, which I absolutely adore. I want you to play that today. You'll really like it.
And what effect does the Castrol GTX tin have on the tone? That's the question.
It really makes it smooth, almost like it's like well lubricated.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Then of course we have the Moog Matriarch. Wonderful piece of kit. Beautiful bass synth as well. And then down here we kind of go into the spider's nest. The nervous system of the whole studio is my patch bays made by Redco. They're the best because you can normalize or unnormalize them with switches, which is great. I have 4 of these Furman power conditioners that power the various racks in the studio. Phoenix Audio N8 DI box, which is really cool. Let's see if I can lift this up a little bit better so you can see that. Yeah. Maybe I turn this on, shall I? Beep. Nice and dusty. Then we have the Cranbourne Audio EC2, which is my go-to mic pre for pretty much everything. Yeah. Then the Manultech stereo EQ, which Scott and I absolutely adore.
A great piece. It's like a Pultec style, but just built really, really well, solid state. Doesn't run too hot.
Perfect. Of course, the DBX 160As, which are great. Then the Golden Age 2As. These are their LA2A remakes that are really, really solid.
And you use those mainly master bus, do you?
Not really. I think these days it's always on acoustic guitars or on vocals. So for vocals, I go U67 or U87 into a 1073 or the Cranbourne, depending on the vocalist. And then that goes into the 1176, which then goes into the LA2A. The whole studio runs on these Behringer PowerPlay P16s, which are super affordable and sound solid, really.
And they're really easy. And what that allows you to do is to say you want, like I was just doing more electric guitar on my mix. What I would do is press here, and then that's the level of my guitar in my in-ear mix. And you've got, what, 5 or 6 of these around the studio, haven't you, for all the different musicians? Yeah.
And they all run off the console's long faders. So we should probably talk about the console.
Yeah.
This is my Audient 4816. This is the Mark I. This isn't their new version. I'd love to try the new version. The new one's got Transformers on their master bus, which is pretty cool.
That's very good.
This thing is an absolute workhorse. Like, super clean, super responsive, great equalization, and bang for buck, it does the job of a summing mixer, 16 mic pre, 16 EQs, full monitor control section, and bus compression. So you can't really beat it for the price. But the coolest thing about it is that it's a split console. So you have all of your recording side up here, and then all of my monitoring happens down here. And then all of these long faders inserts sent to the headphones. So I can change volume here. It doesn't affect the headphones. So we can have a custom mix in the control room, plus people can have their own mixes on the other side. These are the Cranbourne Carnaby harmonic equalizers. These are my new secret weapon.
I really want to try those, actually.
They're unbelievable.
Don't tell me that. I ain't got money to find out that information.
They're so good. You need to watch the video. Maybe Scott will put a box above my head. But like on acoustic guitars, it's the end. It's the end. It's honestly unbelievable. Then of course one of the bonding things Scott and I have is the API 550As, and it's just the sound, isn't it?
They're just amazing, aren't they?
These are the Neve 1073 DPXs. Then we have the very special 1176 LN. These are the Uris. Absolutely adore these. And then my original DBX 160, which I use in parallel for bass a lot of the time when I'm recording on an aux. But the stars of the cabin is this brass mouse. That's the most important thing that I have in here. And the stand for the brass mouse is the second most important part of the cabin, which is my ATC SCM45As. And I've just done a video for them as well. These, I think you were one of the first people I phoned, right, when I bought these. And I was like, dude, it's nice to know that I've bought the last set of monitors I'm going to buy, unless I move into a room with soffits, where I'll just buy the bigger version of these. but they're unbelievable. I mean, we've done a lot of work on them now.
They are very special. The way you hear sound through those speakers is truly special.
It's unbelievable. So they're great, but fun enough, even though they're, you know, almost $13,000 speakers, you still need to have the pure Evoke 2 with the auxiliary input. Very, very important. Only sounds as good as it does when there's a Lego lunar lander next to it, which is extremely important as well.
Yeah. It affects the mid-range substantially.
Yeah. Like vocals don't sound the same without the lander in the room. That's just a well-known fact. All the acoustics in the room are from GIK Acoustics. They're really, really wicked. These are some of the guitars we have in the studio. This is my Takamine EAN10C Dreadnought with Nashville strung strings on it. So it's really bright and beautiful sounding. But as Scott advised me once, the bigger the guitar, the better the better the Nashville sound. So this is my stopgap until I can get a J200, which would obviously be the dream. This is my workhorse. This is Dorothy. She's a J45 custom with the rosewood back and sides. Really beautiful. Then we have one of my childhood basses. Horrible story about this bass. I went to a music shop and the salesman spoke me into buying this Ibanez RDGR, which is a good bass. But he spoke me out of buying, at that time, the new Sting signature P bass. And he said, this gives me more tonal options. That's bad salesmanship. That's what that is. Then we have this Diamond Nashville strung electric guitar, or Lecky. Then we have a Palfrey that I've put into baritone, and it sounds really cool. And then this is made out of a fence. Scott, you've actually used this on record before.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a vibe. So the cool thing about this guitar was it was going to be thrown away, and we have a luthier next door, and the pickup placement is the same distance as a P-bass in relation to the actual nut and bridge. So it doesn't sound like any other guitar. It weighs absolutely nothing.
If you were starting up right now, what would you buy? I know you've got a couple of videos about that already, but say you're going to buy a mic and an interface of some sort. What is there out there for people who want to get into recording? What would you recommend?
I love the Evo stuff. I think Evo makes some really good stuff, and it's not just because I've worked with them in the past. It's bang for buck. It's unbelievable. The Evo 4, the Evo 8, or the SP8, or the Evo 16. Really good interfaces. Small, lightweight, good D2A. Really good microphones.
And that means digital to analog conversion.
Yes, digital to analog conversion, and most importantly, analog to digital conversion. So the sound coming from the microphone into your computer is dealt with in a really nice way. With regards to good microphones, starting out, I think the Lewitt Audio stuff is really good. They have quite affordable range, again, starting from really affordable going up to super high end. But yeah, those are the two like starting out things that when we started recording, we didn't have these options. Like I remember my first interface was an Apogee Duet, which like for the price of a Lewitt and an Evo 8, you're not even half the price of a Duet now. You know, I think.
And something like an SM57 is what I always advise as well, because it's just you can put it on anything and sound good.
It's true, absolutely. So those are my two kind of starting out things that I would recommend to people, I think.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Thank you, Scott, for all the awesome work. Check out the video that Scott is playing on right here, hopefully, or it will be right here when I release it, depending when this video comes out. And yeah, thank you for being an awesome human. Appreciate you, Mr. Poley.
Thanks so much for watching, and thanks again to Alec for being involved in this video. I'd love it if you consider subscribing to this channel, like this video, and go and check out Alec's channel too. Give him a follow. It's well worth you subscribing to his channel. And I will catch you very soon.